Okay, I have Anam Zaidi here from Clean and Connected on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, Anam.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really appreciate it. So a lot of what you do and what I do is kind of related because I'm in the real estate business. You're in the decluttering space and all that stuff. And I thought it'd be good to have you on so you can educate our clients and our audience as to how your business would help somebody who is in a home, whether they're renting or owning. But before we do all that, why don't you introduce us to yourself and about your business and what got you inspired to start Clean and Connected?
Yeah, so as you said, my name is Anam, and I'm a mom of two who keep me quite busy and the house quite cluttered. For me, I've always been a very organized person. I was always a very organized and love being having everything tidy and in place. So that really evolved into me as my career. Actually, my background is accounting, but I went into the corporate world, helping small businesses organize their inventories and systems and data files and everything. But it was around, I would say, during the pandemic when something shifted in me, where I was starting to realize that I wasn't really finding the corporate side as fulfilling as I used to. There was a lot of shift in the pandemic as we all went through quite a few transformations. So that's when I started to think, okay, well, I have this natural skill to be organized and clean, and how can I transition that into maybe residential, right? Which was a complete game changer for me. I would usually organize my family's homes and my friends' homes, so it wasn't really something that I had to really work on. It was just coming naturally to me, so I thought, hey, why not? Seeing how clutter impacts the mental health of people and relationships and even parenting. So I started going into that, and that's how Clean and Connected was born. It's just, for me, it wasn't just having an aesthetically pleasing home, which a lot of the organizational companies do. For me, it was more about, okay, what's the holistic approach behind it? How can I make it more educational and a holistic platform? That's how I'm here, and the company's here. Yeah.
Nice. That's a great story, and I know you touched up upon the mental and physical aspect of how this actually helps improve your life from not just like a aesthetic way, but also from a mental standpoint. So can you talk a little bit more about how one can understand how it actually impacts you mentally when you have like a clean and organized space around you?
Yeah. So clutter is more than just stuff. It's more about, if you look at the deeper rooted issue with clutter, it's just unmade decisions, an emotional weight, and like mental noise that's just, we've hoarded really. So when we start decluttering, we're not just organizing the items, we're also releasing that stress, that anxiety, and that overwhelmed feeling. And it's a lot of time carried on by mothers. Of course, fathers are also it goes both ways, and there's clutter in the homes, but it's mostly mothers who are dealing with not only kids and have busy schedules, but now they have a home to manage, and they can't really manage a home that's a storage room, right? And for me, that's how I started going into the holistic approach. And I've seen clients go from, having lack of sleep to getting better sleep, eating better, having even better connection with their family, because there's systems in place to keep everything moving, right? People don't realize, but it has a profound impact on mental and physical well-being.
It's just like I said, even in our industry, when we're listing a house and putting it up for sale, one of the first things I always recommend is decluttering before you stage it. And that just means removing as much stuff as you can so that the space opens up, so that when buyers come in to see the house, they don't see a house that's compact or cluttered or small. And when the stuff is out, or when it's decluttered, then the space actually looks a lot bigger than it was, and actually feels good. Feels better from a mental.
I do say this a lot in a lot of my workshops as well, that we live in Toronto and real estate is expensive.
Yeah.
And if you really do the math, all the things that you bring into your house and you make your house into a storage room, if you actually do the math per square footage, you're it's charging about $25 to $50 depending on, right? So if there's items that you're hoarding, these items are not just like money that you've already spent, but now they're hoarded. They're keeping space, which you could be utilizing for other things. So yeah, a lot of our homes have turned into storage space instead of a living space, right?
Had a question. So obviously, some people live in larger homes, some are in smaller homes. For those that are living in, let's say, a smaller space, maybe it's a condo or even a smaller house, a semi or a townhome, and they may have a lot of stuff because of the lack of size and space. Like, what do you recommend, and how do they get into a situation where, given the lack of space, they can still open up their homes and feel, what, there is space in here to clutter my items.
Always be mindful of what you're bringing into your home. Uh, it might look good in the store and it might be on sale, but that doesn't mean you have to bring it home.
Right.
It's marketing schemes out there. They've perfected the fact that, if you put urgency into things, psychologically, people are like, oh my God, sugar's on sale. Let's buy 10 of them, right? The idea is you'll always have things available to you, right? The economy will continue regardless of how good or bad it is. And things won't run out. So just trust the process, bring home what you need in the moment, and not just because things are on sale. So I really advise people, before you even bring something into your home, there's a rule called 1 in, 1 out. So if you're bringing one thing into the house, make sure you get rid of something else, right? That really keeps the house from getting cluttered. The other thing I would really advise people with smaller homes and smaller real estate is always think vertically. There's a lot of vertical space available that people don't think about.
Yeah.
Right? So there's ways to hide things behind cabinets. There's ways to make it look cleaner visually. And it's less to manage.
Right.
The less stuff you have, that's less you have to worry about.
Okay, I didn't know about that vertical. That's a good idea. I guess my next question to start off right now is, let's say, for example, like my room office is cluttered quite a bit, so is my desk, unfortunately. And I can feel the mental stress sometimes when it's there. When I clear it, it feels a lot better. But a lot of times what I do personally is I have this mess and I just shove it into the closet. So when I'm in my room, it feels good. But then when I open the closet, it's like, oh, you kind of have that same sort of feeling, right? So how important is it to not just declutter your room, but also like the inner areas, like the closets or the linen closet? Is that also something that you recommend, or do we just shove everything in there and call it a day?
A quick cleanup when you have people coming over, you need to make it look visually appealing. It does work to just shove it in one closet and hide it. But eventually, I would say set a reminder for yourself, maybe a calendar reminder that, a long weekend's coming up, you're not going anywhere, holidays are coming up, and take maybe a day. Technologically, we've advanced so much that we don't need to really put everything in our brains. So use your iPhones and make reminders and calendar reminders. And once a year, go through all of that.
Right.
And yes, it sounds like a lot, but when you take mini steps to just declutter, it actually does end up having a great impact. When you see the closet empty that you have shoved everything into, it's so much more rewarding. Because even if you don't realize, you've kind of put it out of sight, out of mind, but it's not really out of mind. In the back of your mind, it's as much there as it is the back behind that closet, right? So people need to just realize a lot of the concepts that we've had in the past have really not worked, and we need to evolve.
Yeah, it's kind of like, detailing a car, right? Where sometimes my car, because I live in my car almost because I'm driving all the time for work. The amount of clutter that it piles up, but then once I get it detailed and cleaned, that drive is just so much more peaceful. And it makes your day, right? So we talked a lot about decluttering, but what other aspects of your business are also part of it? Like cleaning and connected, like what does that mean? And what, aside from decluttering, do you offer in terms of consultations and whatnot to your customers and clients?
My business is not just a service-based business. It's evolved into a more educational-based business as well. I started off offering services like, small businesses, small home offices, pretty much any part of your house. And then it kind of evolved from there. Okay, so what about the people who might not be able to, in the moment, use my services? What if they're out of town, out of reach of my service areas? So I started doing workshops to educate the clientele. There's a lot of moms who just need a little bit of a push.
Yeah.
To get it going. So what I started doing was virtual coaching, where I walk them through the process and we work together. The other thing is ADHD is very prominent nowadays, and a lot of times the overwhelming feeling is coming from that ADHD aspect. So I also run a virtual program where I do body doubling, which when you know there's someone there, you're held accountable, you do clean, right?
Yeah.
You know you have to get the to-do list done because there's someone there watching you. So the sense of accountability is very helpful for clients. Then I had a lot of moms recommending, listen, we do all the work and our kids are, always just like messy, and my boys' room is like that, or my girls don't know. And um, so I really thought about all of the feedback that I got and finally came up with this. Alhamdulillah has evolved as well, is the summer camp I run, which is Neat Ninja Academy. And I ran it last year, and this year will be the second year running it. And it's just such an amazing program, a very unique program.
Right.
Which takes the stress off of the parents' shoulders. And really, I am now stepping in and teaching the kids valuable life skills, time management skills. How do you make to-do lists? How do you make your bed every morning? I mean, I had really good feedback last year when I ran it. So let's see what happens this year. I have quite a bit of signups, and kids are looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to teaching them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my daughter joined last year, I remember, and I mean, she had a fantastic time, and genuinely mean that. Like, she had a great time, and I hope you have spaces available because I would like to register again this year, hopefully.
We're actually are running a lot more programs this year. So last year was just, I think I ran only one timing just to see. It was a new thing for me as well. This year I'm running quite a few 5-day workshops, so there's plenty of space still available. Yeah, I would love for her to join because this year we have different curriculum based on different age levels. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think it's so important for kids to learn that skill as well. I mean, me as a father, like I'll be honest, I'm horrible at organization and just this whole, but I need coaching, to be honest with you. Maybe you can offer some coaching to fathers as well down the road, but
sure, for sure. Yeah.
It's a skill, like it's a life skill to have, and just like swimming, taekwondo, I think this is just as important because this is a foundation building block for the kids as well. And if they can take that as they're older, then, it not just helps them in their home, but also in their lives. I guess we're almost at the end of our conversation, but if you can share a quick success story of maybe one of your clients and how your services really impacted their lives in different ways.
There's quite a few. I think that's where the rewarding thing comes from. And it's after when I declutter and organize the home and then clients see it for the first time, it's their reaction is worth everything.
Yeah.
And it really reminds me that, I'm in a good field, like I'm in a good place, and I feel like that's my purpose. So for me, recently I had organized a kitchen for a client. And she kept saying, like, I'm telling you, there's not a lot of space in my kitchen. My kitchen's too small. We have too much stuff. There's no way you're going to make it all fit. And I kept telling her, it's okay. We'll get it done. Don't worry. We'll have it done. And we didn't have to declutter too much. She had necessities. Majority of the stuff she had was necessities. And we found spaces vertically in the cabinet doors and everything, which she never thought was possible. And when she had come in to see, she was just blown away. And she kept asking, she's like, did you throw anything away? I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, it's actually all there. It's just neatly set up. And you can visually see everything. That's why you feel like, it could be gone, but it's just because it was just cluttered. It was just shoved into in cabinets and she couldn't find things. So for me, that was very rewarding. She's like, how did you make like everything fit? And I was like, it's just, I think I take my own skill for granted. Because I was like, I just think like this. I'm very like organized even in my mindset. So I always thought, everyone's like that. But I realized not everyone has that skill. And if I have that, then I should offer it to others, right? To make their life easier. So yeah, there's a lot of success stories. And even with kids as well, with them doing the Neat Ninja Academy, a lot of success stories. Yeah.
That's amazing. No, I think what you're doing is really a genuine service. And it's something that, I haven't seen a lot, growing up. And so for me, when you came out with your business and I heard about it, I was like, this is really, really cool. And this is something that will help a lot of people. So kudos to you and for you, what you're doing with the community and for the kids as well. So really proud of what you guys are doing. And I hope it really goes even bigger down the road, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah, that's the hope. Yeah.
Absolutely. Where can we find you on social media websites, if you don't mind sharing your Instagram handles and Facebook, whatever it is?
I have my website, which is www.cleanandconnected.com. You can also find me on Instagram with the same handle, Clean and Connected. I am also on Pinterest, which I'm getting into more blogging and and stuff. So it's expanding slowly, slowly. And I am also on TikTok. You can find me on Clean and Connected. So putting educational videos and more marketing and upcoming events for sure. You can find them all there.
Well, if there's anything I can do to help you out as well, let me know. We'll definitely share your Instagram and social media handles in this caption over here. If anybody has any questions, you can reach out to Anam directly. And like she said, she's got a program coming up for the kids. I think
Neat Ninja Academy, and it's running from July 14th up until end of August. Yeah.
So look out for that program. Enroll your kids, and you can take it from me. It was a great program for my daughter as well, and she'll be joining again this year as well, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anam. Really appreciate your welcome anytime back if you'd like to come back, and have a great summer and spring, and all the best.